Hello. So this video is a little bit different from my usual format for like the last two or few videos I've made. Um, I kind of just want to rant for a moment. No, before YouTube becomes unrantable in like, I don't know, a week or two. That's weird news. Honestly, a little bit strange of them to implement such new things. Kind of uncomfortable. But here I am nonetheless. I've kind of I've never really considered myself an artist. This isn't a voiceover, by the way. Well, it is a voiceover. It's just not a structured one. I don't really have a script. I don't really consider myself an artist. Um, mostly, mostly because I just draw for a specific purpose. I feel like people who draw to please or draw to get commissions, those are artists. People who draw with the intention of being good at whatever it is they're drawing. My main reason for practicing is just so my art can get good enough for the stories I want to write. And frankly, I don't think it's quite there. Not quite there, at least. I'm not really disappointed with the things I make. It's more like I feel like they could be better and more detailed. Mm, and not quite to the point where I want them to be just yet. I think artists, real artists, have like a genuine passion for the things they make. Sometimes I make things in dull spirit, not really caring about them too much, just sort of seeing it as practice or like, the anatomy I'm doing now. I mean, even this next scene where I'm drawing this character's back. It all kind of feels like rough practice, rough illustrations of what I'm aiming for without necessarily being, anything I would say like, oh, yeah, this is what I can draw. Or this is what I would make as an artist. I'm not an artist. I just draw pictures for the sake of drawing pictures. So I can be good enough for the story I want to make. But this does make me ask a question for like actual artists or the ones I see on TikTok or YouTube is that there's like a lot of focus on drawing faces and bodies and people and anatomy. I wonder, like, could I ever see some original environments from people? Like, what kind of places would you want to live on, like, on a physical level if you were to draw them? I mean, right now, as I'm making this video, I'm making an original environment. I'm scribbling and sketching away right at this moment. But sometimes I wonder, what kind of places would people live if they had a choice? They didn't have to live where they live now, or what kind of environments would they make for themselves? I'm thinking of eventually posting, not really informational videos, but just kind of like this. I mean, I'll do the occasional informational video, but maybe like time lapses of multi-day projects that I work on. Because I'm trying to get into being comfortable with letting my art go at a specific point in time and not completing it all within the span of an hour or a day. Because I want to be able to have the patience and tolerance so that way I can spend more time on the things I make, which naturally means, no more 30-second video time lapses of me doing stuff, or might start to see things that are mostly already sketched, just me adding in details. Or maybe you'll see an hour of me drawing on it and I'll take a break and I'll come back to it. Because I recently ordered a new sketchbook that I want to fill up. But I didn't. I didn't want to just fill it up with nonsense drawings like I do with my current one. Like with the one with Tanjiro in it. I really don't like Tanjiro. That's why I drew him like that. Could have done better if I took my time. But it was like, 20 minutes. I really don't like his character. Maybe I shouldn't have blurted that out. Maybe I shouldn't have blurted it out. I think each person's entitled to their own opinion about how they feel about a character. Or at least should be able to say whatever they want to say about them. But I want to get better at drawing original environments. Not necessarily cityscapes, but just landscapes full of land. So when I do make this book, I want it to have really pretty landscapes. Of course, really pretty cities as well, and just rudimentary geometrical shapes. But I really want beautiful landscapes. And one of the problems I have when I'm doing these little time-lapse videos is that I'm not allowed to like lean in to like get close enough to see the details. So my face is just like over a foot away. I'm looking at it and I'm like, that looks roughly about right. And it could be entirely wrong and not at all what I wanted to see, but I'm not leaning in any closer to figure that out. Thinking of filling up the new sketchbook with ideas and OCs and maybe starting to get into the main point of what I'm making. Did I ever mention that I didn't go to art school? That should be apparent by the way I draw. I didn't go. But I didn't go to art school. I didn't practice art with people either. It was never something that I really fell into. I mean, I did fall in love with it, but I wouldn't call myself an artist. Don't have the degree. I would say I'm more or less an illustrator. Just not in the technical I get paid sense sort of illustration. More like drawing things. Oh, a concept that I think actually helps with drawing, even though I said I would try to move away from advice videos, is detachment. And I don't mean not detachment, separation. That's the proper word, separation. Yeah. I've thought about it for a little bit. When people write stories or draw pictures, it's good to move out of your comfort zone of what you believe is morally correct or morally acceptable, or what you think would look pretty on paper necessarily. Maybe you only draw girls because men are stinky and ugly. Or maybe you only draw guys because, you can't draw hips. Hips are hard to draw. They come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. I'm telling you, really, for both men and women, they're difficult. I was saying, though, is, maybe draw things that make you uncomfortable, like ugly bugs. I think that's an idea that I'm saving for later. A bug. But not just any bug. It would be a mix of things kind of bug. I think it'll probably be one of the last things I put in this current sketchbook, which I've had for a couple of years now. But, sort of like this separation of ideas, if you will. By and which you separate yourself from what you're making to move out of your comfort zone. Instead of just trying to force your way into new things. It's actually how you get really good at drawing. You experiment with shapes, sizes, forms, even time frames of the things you want to make. By separation, I mean like a little bit of mental distancing, like draw things you don't want to make, but at the same time feel that you have to make. Things that you must draw, even if you don't like them. Because depiction of everything, and I mean everything, is important. When it comes to the type of story I'm going to write, I want to be able to draw all the ideas and the moments that I think are most important, which means getting good at a lot of things. Whether it's illustrating human emotion or illustrating how a world should look from a person's perspective. Even if, that world is ugly or scary or deplorable. I think being able to illustrate even the most abominable of things is important to creating cohesive pieces. But then again, don't take my advice, I'm not an artist. This is just a rant video that I had an idea for. Hopefully it should premiere a little bit tomorrow. I mean, you guys will be able to see what I'm working on thereafter. Kind of thought about talking about art controversies, but don't really think that's my area of expertise. Not quite fit to give my 2 cents on it. Plus, I think I'd be probably a little too mean. The skill for art has always been rather high. excessive even. It's always hard to reach that higher point.